I actually grew up similar to you. I got to go to a private school. We had to wear uniforms that looked exactly like yours. It was up in Chicago. And granted, it wasn't as big. We only had 2 classes per grade. But believe it or not, I was the smallest kid in my grade all the way up until 8th grade. Literally. I did not hit my growth spurt until high school. And I had these really big, thick glasses that I had no choice in picking out. And so needless to say, I might not have been the coolest kid all the time. And if you get to be in my class one day, I'll tell you some more stories about that. One of the big things when I was younger is I just really liked to play sports. I played soccer, I played basketball, baseball, football, you name it. I was always outside. And I was always out with my friends. We played on leagues, just like you guys play Buckhead baseball right now, or football, or the youth basketball leagues, etc. And being fit was never a problem for me. A, because my metabolism was never an issue, and B, because I was playing sports all the time. So the benefit that you're in right now, where you get to go to PE 3 or 4 days a week, and you get to go home and you get to go outside in Atlanta where it's nice out, I strongly urge you to take advantage of that and not stay inside and play on your iPad, and not stay inside and play your Xbox, and not stay inside and watch TV. And I know it's tempting because those things are really cool, but you live in an awesome city with great weather, and you've been put in a very blessed situation where you have access to all these different sports and leagues and gymnastics gyms, etc. I strongly urge you to take advantage of them. Because what I realized when I got older, after high school, was that the ability to play on team sports sort of disappears. And I quickly realized that really the only sport that I could play with other adults was kickball. And I don't know if you know this, but there is no such thing as professional kickball. You can't make any money at it, no matter how good you are. And so for those of you who keep wanting to play kickball at recess, stop. Play football or play baseball. Play something that's going to make you a lot of money. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I also learned some bad habits when I was your age, and I'm going to try to tell you now so that maybe you don't do them anymore. One of the things was that I really liked soda. Pepsi, Coke, etc. And I was allowed, when I was your age, I was allowed to have 1 can of Coke a day. Okay? Well, that sort of changed when I got older and my parents could no longer tell what I was doing. Alright? And now all of a sudden it turned into 2 Cokes a day. Or when I was your age, my grandma used to take me to the movies on Saturdays, and before we would go to the movies, we would go to Taco Bell. So the moment that I got away from my parents, when I went to college, I ate whatever I wanted because they weren't there to tell me no. So my first urging to you is stop drinking soda, believe it or not. And I know that Olivia Byers is not going to be very happy with me right now, but start drinking more water, okay? Start drinking things that are good for you. And then on top of that, I'm not saying don't go to Taco Bell, but maybe only go to Taco Bell once a month and not every day like I have it sometimes in my life. And the reason I tell you that is because these bad habits actually caught up with me as I got a little bit older. One of the other bad habits that I have, and you probably all have it if I asked you, is who here likes sweet tea? Sweet tea. Who likes sweet tea? I love sweet tea. But the problem is that sweet tea has sugar. At least the sweet tea that I make, it has lots of sugar. And so I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and I decided that I'm going to make you a promise. And between now and September 8th of 2013, I promise all of you that I will not drink sweet tea.
Wow.
And if you catch me drinking sweet tea, I will have to buy the entire lower school freeze pops. But I promise you will not catch me, because I'm going to stop. Today is the day I'm going to stop, okay? So that's one of the bad habits I've had trouble breaking. So, what you may or may not know is that 541 days ago, I was at a Notre Dame football game with my parents, and they were getting ready to play the University of Southern California. And we were hanging out and tailgating, and I didn't feel very good. And about a couple hours later, and I don't remember much of it, I went into what is called sudden cardiac arrest. And what that means is that my heart stopped. And my heart stopped for an hour. And so I joke about it now, even though it probably still isn't very funny, but I was dead for an hour. And after several months of rehab and coming back to school, believe it or not, I still wasn't doing the things that I knew I needed to do in order to be healthy so that stuff like that didn't happen again. In fact, I was doing everything in my power to make sure that it didn't, I was doing everything in my power to try to get things to go back to normal. I was sort of ignoring the fact that it took place. And because of that, and because of what happened to me over a year and a half ago, I have to take 10 pills a day. This is my bag. I usually divide them out, okay? But I take 10 pills a day. It's been 541 days. If you do the math, I've had to put over 5,000 pills into my body. So one of my goals is to reduce the amount of drugs that are in this bag. Some of these drugs I'm never going to be able to get off because they're making it so that my heart can stay as healthy as possible. But I urge you, going back to the Coke and the Taco Bell, and then some of it just deals with what family you were born into. Don't be like me and have to take 10 pills a day. Because not only is it, my students have seen it, some of the pills are pretty big. Not only that, but they're expensive. And that's money that I could be spending on whatever, going to a Braves game. Okay? Or Coke. No, I'm not going to spend it on Coke. So, the other thing, so about 6 months after that, I didn't feel very good, and I actually went to the hospital again, and they decided that my heart wasn't strong enough to do stuff on its own sometimes. And so they installed a really fancy computer in my left shoulder. And if you ever come up and ask me, I'll let you touch it someday. Not today, though. But, and what it does is it makes sure that if my heart ever stops or if my heart ever does something really weird, it will try to get it to go back into place. That wasn't cheap either, right? So not only am I wasting money because of some of the decisions that I was making when I was your age, but now I can't do some stuff. Like, I'll never be able to play in the NFL because of this. Okay? Alex thinks I could make it in the NFL, but I'm never going to be able to do that. And so just take it from me, eat healthy. And I'll recap what my goals for you are at the end, but eat healthy. And so back in November, I think I was reading an article or listening to a paper or listening to the radio, and I heard about this thing with CNN where they picked 6 people in the country to train for a triathlon in Malibu, California. And believe it or not, I was picked. So I am one of 6 people. I am the second youngest. I'm one of 2 people that are from the state of Georgia. Everyone else is from the West Coast and Indiana. Someone's from Tennessee. And we've been training since January with a guy on TV by the name of Dr. Sanjay Gupta, if you've ever heard of him before. And we are training for a triathlon in September. So that's why I told you September 8th, the day after the triathlon, I should be allowed to have sweet tea, or at least that's my opinion. So, what I wanted to do right now is show you what it is that I'm going to be doing, and I'm actually going to need some just random volunteers. So is there anybody that wants to volunteer so I can help show you what it is that I'm going to be doing? Blaze, Emma, Hayden. There you go, Hayden. Come on, tell me. Okay, so does anyone know what a triathlon is, or what the first 3 letters of triathlon mean? Does anyone know what a triathlon is other than my class? JT. Swimming, biking, and running, that's exactly what it is. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to swim a half mile in the Pacific Ocean, and then I'm going to have to get on my really cool bike right here, and I'm going to have to bike 18 miles, and then after that I'm going to have to get off the bike and I'm going to have to run. So I wanted to show you guys what that's going to look like. I don't want to dress up for you, so here we go. So who wants to be the swimmer? Okay, please, come on, buddy. So when I'm swimming, in fact, I was just in the Lovett pool this morning. Come on down, buddy. I was in the Lovett pool this morning, as Coach Carter can attest, and this is what I had to wear. And I didn't get the Speedo out. I didn't want you guys to have to see that. Last but not least, but I don't know if you've ever used these before, I've just started using them, but it's a nose holder so water doesn't go up your nose.
I've heard
So I have to do that in the Pacific Ocean for a mile and a half, or for a half mile. I'm not very excited about that. Then I have to go biking, okay? So, but the weird thing is, if you ever look at this bike, why don't you come and pull the bike, buddy? If you look at this bike, the seat is really hard. So you gotta wear shorts so that it doesn't hurt you know what.
Oh, God.
Clean, I promise. And then finally, when I'm done biking 18 miles, I'm going to have to go, and I'm going to have to run, which is my least favorite sport. And so when I go running, I went out and my class got me a gift card, so I was able to get some really fancy running shoes.
Look at Hayden.
Sometimes when I'm running, I get a little sweaty. So I have to wear a hat. And I got these really cool glasses. And CNN gave me this really cool watch, which keeps track of my heart rate and my time and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to swim, and then I'm going to bike, and then I'm going to run, which I'm not really too excited about. Okay? And this is what I'm doing. And so I'm pretty excited. I've been very blessed. And let's give these guys a round of applause. So one of the cool things about CNN is that I've been given the opportunity to write some articles that they've actually published. And one of the articles that I published was called T-Shirt Tales. And I wrote about how when I was younger, I realized that all the T-shirts that I owned, looking back in my drawer, actually played a little bit of a history of my life. And so I just randomly went and got some T-shirts, and I know they're hard to see. But if you look at Jack over here, his T-shirt represents the Notre Dame-Miami game in 1990 that I got to go to. And if you know me, you know that I'm a big Notre Dame fan. And then right next to that is a shirt that I got when I was in high school that Al's wearing when I got to play rugby in high school. And the shirt next to him is Lucy, and that, if she turns around, that's from my last school, Notre Dame Academy. And when you look at Lucas, he sort of starts the Lovage genre of my life, and he's got a cool Lovage shirt. And Anna Grace got me this really cool t-shirt for Christmas that says "Details Matter," because that's what I say to my kids about every 3 seconds. And then next to that is Alex in his Georgia shirt. I don't like Georgia, but I had to wear that shirt the day that Notre Dame lost to Alabama in the national championship. And then, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but ATL of Georgia is wearing the shirt that you guys are going to get for the Spring Arts Festival this year. And so, nice and pretty red t-shirt right there. And so, I think Miss Melito's got a bulletin board up that's got some of my writing on it. But when you guys go home today, I want you to look in your closets, or I want you to look in your drawers, and I want you to look and see what kind of t-shirts do you have. And when you look at a t-shirt, can you remember how you got it? When you're at Lubbock, you get lots of t-shirts, right? And so 10 years from now, when you guys are seniors or what have you, are you going to remember that Spring Arts Festival? Or are you going to remember being on the Buckhead baseball team? So, I'm sorry, I'm going way longer than I wanted to, but here's the deal. I want you guys to eat healthy. I want you guys to play and exercise. And then finally, the thing that I've had to realize is that life is way too short. And since it's way too short, be nice to people. That's it. Eat healthy. Go outside and play, and be nice to people. And I promise you that your life will be a whole lot better than it is now, and you guys all have pretty amazing lives as it is. So, thank you very much. Have an amazing day.